year ago, America fell in love with a singing janitor from Terre Haute.
Oh, Richard Goodall won, you might remember, America's Got Talent.
Exactly 1 year ago, an unexpected star from Terre Haute captured the hearts of America, a humble janitor whose incredible voice seemed to carry decades of untold stories. The moment Heidi Klum hit that golden buzzer, sending him straight through to the live shows without a single hesitation or additional audition, the world took notice. Even Simon Cowell, known for his tough critiques, later called that golden buzzer moment one of the most unforgettable auditions in the entire history of the show. From that point forward, Richard Goodall treated every single performance as a precious gift rather than just a competition. In the quarterfinals, he poured his heart out in a powerful rendition of "How Am I Supposed to Live Without You?", dedicating it to the person who meant the world to him. Then, in the semifinals, he ignited the stage with a fierce and unforgettable take on Eye of the Tiger, a performance filled with raw passion and undeniable energy. Finally, the grand finale saw him close with Faithfully, a moving and emotional performance that left nearly everyone in the audience overwhelmed with tears. When the season wrapped up, Richard Goodall was crowned the winner of season 19, making history as the oldest champion at 55 years old. But not only that, he was the first vocalist to claim victory after half a decade dominated by specialty acts like magicians and acrobats, breaking a long-standing streak that had sidelined singers for too long. It was the kind of dream ending that television audiences love. Yet beneath the glitz and glamour lay a far deeper, more poignant story, the story of heartbreak and resilience that shaped his unforgettable voice. Before America ever heard him sing, Richard had weathered countless years of quiet disappointment. After facing rejection on another show, The Voice, he found solace performing with a small gospel group, traveling and sharing music in a tight-knit circle that gave him renewed purpose outside the daily grind. But just when that chapter seemed to offer hope, the pandemic swept in, tearing apart the world he'd built almost overnight and sending him back to square one. Venues all across the city closed their doors, plunging the vibrant music scene into silence. Concerts and gatherings vanished overnight, and the very band Goodall had relied on for years, his musical backbone and constant companions, fractured and fell apart. This left him stranded, without one of the few places where his music had ever truly felt embraced and understood. Nothing could have prepared him for the storm that was about to crash down on his life. In 2021, Goodall faced a heart-shattering loss when his beloved first wife, Patricia Sue, succumbed to kidney cancer. She had been his unwavering support through countless seasons of doubt, setbacks, and hard-fought dreams. Her passing wasn't just a blow of ordinary grief, it was a profound emptiness that words can hardly capture. The routines they had woven together vanished as if erased overnight, and the home they once filled with life now echoed with a silence that felt almost surreal. Each morning, Goodall forced himself to rise and report to work because this relentless discipline was ingrained in his very being. Though inside, he was struggling to reassemble a life that had shifted beneath his feet beyond recognition. He showed up day after day, holding on to that last thread of normalcy. Yet, those who knew him well could hear the heavy sorrow threading through his voice every time he sang. That deep, haunting sadness never quite left him. It seeped into his music, adding layers of emotional intensity that would later resonate deeply with millions of television viewers, many unaware of the painful story echoing behind those haunting notes. Still, despite the darkness that had unfolded, life had a surprising gift in store. In 2022, Goodall crossed paths with a woman named Angie, long before the glare of cameras or any television fame found him. To Angie, he was simply Richard the man, not the viral sensation or the rising star. Over time, Angie grew into the steady, grounding presence that helped him rediscover a sense of hope and belonging amid the chaos. Throughout the entire whirlwind of his journey on America's Got Talent, Goodall leaned heavily on Angie. She was his rock during those moments when doubt crept in, whispering that he deserved genuine happiness, not just brief flashes of applause or fleeting recognition in the spotlight. Then, just days before the season finale, the couple quietly tied the knot in California. They chose to cherish their love away from the glaring eyes of the TV cameras, opting for an intimate ceremony surrounded only by family and the closest friends they'd made during the AGT experience. After the ceremony, Goodall and Angie shared a peaceful dinner on the beach, savoring a rare moment of calm before the storm of the finale week swept them up once again. This was a deeply personal decision, done solely for their own joy and not influenced by any interest in the public eye. When Goodall ultimately lifted the winner's trophy, he made a heartfelt point of thanking Angie, crediting her unwavering support as the key force behind his courage to keep pushing forward through every nerve-wracking round. But with success came its own challenges. Shortly after his victory, the intense schedule of touring, endless interviews, and demanding rehearsals took a serious toll on Goodall's body. In 2024, he quietly underwent hernia surgery, a significant procedure he kept mostly out of the public's view. This unexpected break forced him to slow down and take stock. For the first time since his life had been turned upside down, Goodall found himself with rare moments of stillness, time to truly process everything that had changed so rapidly. Angie's support went beyond just the emotional. She also gently inspired him to explore parts of his identity he had never really confronted before, opening the door to a deeper understanding of himself. Goodall had long carried the quiet weight of a mystery, his biological father an enigma that shadowed him from his earliest days, having been adopted as a baby. With Angie's gentle encouragement and the power of modern ancestry tools, they embarked on a remarkable journey that led them to a man named Hubert, a retired canine police officer and Army veteran, residing just a short distance away in Indiana. What made their discovery even more extraordinary was that Hubert had absolutely no idea Goodall existed until they reached out and finally made contact. This reunion quickly unfolded into something even more surprising: the revelation of 3 siblings Goodall had never known, family ties he had been completely unaware of his entire life. Hubert's reaction was just as astonishing. He reportedly recognized Goodall before Goodall even spoke, a moment of sharp recognition sparked by seeing Goodall's face on television during their season of America's Got Talent. Instinctively, Hubert felt a connection, a silent confirmation that Goodall was indeed his son. When they finally had the chance to talk, Hubert's first words reportedly asked if Goodall was the same janitor named Senator Guy from the show, still processing the incredible reality that, after so many years of not knowing he had a child, that very child had already been seen by the nation. Goodall chose to share this deeply personal chapter of his life openly on social media, introducing his biological father to the world and offering heartfelt thanks to Angie for sparking the search. He admitted that without her unwavering support and insistence, he might have never pursued the questions that had lingered quietly in the background for so long, perhaps content to leave that part of his story forever untold. For years, Goodall had accepted the gaps in his past with quiet grace, understanding that not every chapter was meant to be fully known. Meeting Hubert didn't erase those years of acceptance, but it opened a new door, a chance at connection and answers that reignited a part of his story he had almost let slip away. Goodall discovered something he had nearly stopped hoping for: a living link to the missing piece of his own story. He has since called that moment one of the most profound and heartfelt surprises of his entire life, a discovery that gave him a deep, unexpected sense of belonging. It was as if he had been carrying a chapter of his history in silence, and suddenly, it was illuminated in vivid color. This revelation added an entirely new, rich layer to a story that had already captivated millions of people across the nation. After the cameras stopped rolling, most assumed Goodall would leave his janitorial job behind without hesitation, ready to pursue a full-time music career that now seemed well within reach. But the truth defied everyone's expectations, not for a long time, at least. Instead of chasing immediate fame or a new path, Goodall simply went back to West Vigo Middle School, sweeping the same halls and polishing the floors just as he always had. When asked why he chose to return to a job many would consider just a job, his answer was refreshingly straightforward. He genuinely loved the students, cherished the staff, and valued the steady routine his role had given him for over 2 decades. His hometown didn't just accept him back, they embraced him wholeheartedly. The city of Terre Haute honored him with a key to the city, a symbolic gesture of deep appreciation. The school organized an emotional pep rally filled with joyous students and teachers who couldn't hold back tears, thanking him for being a shining representative of their community. Local news crews flocked to cover this heartfelt celebration, turning what could have been a simple school event into a jubilant hometown parade for one of their own. This wasn't just a moment of recognition, it was a vibrant tribute to someone who had quietly inspired an entire community long before the spotlight ever found him. When the show first required him to make that trip to Los Angeles, it wasn't some big corporation or flashy sponsorship financing his journey. Instead, it was a heartfelt effort by ordinary people, friends, neighbors, and even complete strangers who had been touched by his viral video coming together in local fundraisers just to help him get there. This grassroots support was a testament to how much his story had inspired those around him. As new doors opened, they blended seamlessly into the rhythm of his everyday life. He found himself performing the national anthem at an Indiana Pacers game, sharing the stage as the opening act for fellow Judge favorite Howie Mandel, and taking part in cherished community events like the Circle of Lights and the Riverside Festival of Lights. Yet through all these exciting moments, he still showed up at work most mornings, staying grounded in the routine that shaped him. Over time, his co-workers and students began treating him just like anyone else, no special treatment, no starstruck stares. Goodall described this as a welcome relief rather than a letdown. Seeing him stroll down the hall every day turned the fame from something blindingly bright into just another part of who he really was, a feeling that suited him perfectly. Reflecting on the experience, he often said it felt like anyone could win, that he never stepped onto that stage expecting an automatic triumph. His real hope was that people would recognize how deeply singing mattered to him. Instead of rushing headlong into a record deal, Goodall took a slow, deliberate approach to his music career. He wanted to grow authentically, staying rooted in the community that had believed in him long before the cameras ever rolled. Then, on the 29th of August 2025, Goodall unveiled his debut single, Long Time Coming, a heartfelt recording that marked the beginning of his journey as a recording artist crafted with care and ready to reach the world. In Nashville, Goodall teamed up with seasoned producers, diving deep into crafting his new sound. When he finally announced the release date on social media, he couldn't hide his excitement, calling himself the luckiest man alive. He openly thanked his fans for their endless curiosity and support, especially when they asked what direction his music would take next. Leading up to the release, he gave fans exclusive sneak peeks, short clips that captured the raw emotions and tone behind the project, building anticipation bit by bit. As he navigated this new chapter, Goodall aligned himself with a fresh management team, consciously choosing to be more selective with opportunities. Instead of saying yes to everything, he carefully considered each offer, focused on staying true to his evolving artistry. At the same time, he joined a local band called Sugar Street, playing more intimate, low-key shows. These smaller gigs were a breath of fresh air, a space without the high stakes of national attention, where he could reconnect with the pure love of singing. It was a reminder of why music had always been at his core, long before fame found him. Then, in August 2025, Goodall made a powerful return to the America's Got Talent stage for its 20th anniversary special, kicking off the evening with the electrifying Eye of the Tiger. The night didn't end there. During the season 20 finale, he performed Long Time Coming alongside Journey's guitarist Neil Sean, a full-circle moment that beautifully tied back to the very song that ignited his journey in the first place. Watching his original audition clip backstage that night struck him deeply, more emotional than he expected. It was a profound reminder of how far he'd come since that nerve-wracking moment years ago. By the close of 2025, Goodall finally addressed something fans had quietly hoped to hear for a long time. His music? This wasn't just a fleeting phase tied to a reality show, it was the path Goodall was determined to follow, rooted in something that had always been a part of him, not just a creation spun by cameras or fleeting fame. By November 2025, he returned to his roots with an unforgettable performance as the headline act at the Vigo County YMCA Inspiration Gala in his hometown of Terre Haute. There, he showcased both his fresh new single and the powerful anthem that had launched his journey, Don't Stop Believing. The event wasn't just a concert, it was a heartwarming celebration that raised funds for local scholarships, weaving his blossoming music career back into the very community that had shaped him. Families and kids, who once cheered for him from the sidelines of local events, now had the chance to experience his talent live, all without leaving their hometown. During this same period, Goodall's conversations about the future grew more ambitious and serious. Rumors began swirling about a possible collaboration with none other than America's Got Talent judge Simon Cowell, a dream partnership that could elevate his career to entirely new heights. Alongside that, early talks hinted at plans for a full-length album, signaling that he was ready to dive deeper into his artistry and share more of his story through music. But that wasn't all. discussions started to take shape around a book deal, a chance to capture the incredible tale of resilience and unexpected discovery that had defined his rise. Even more exciting were subtle hints from his wife about the potential for a movie adaptation, an idea that would soon move far faster than anyone anticipated. When asked in jest who should portray him if Hollywood ever decided to bring his story to the big screen, Goodall chuckled, brushing off the question casually. This lighthearted response revealed just how comfortable he had become with his growing recognition and public presence, a clear sign that he wasn't just in this for the moment, but truly embracing the journey ahead. Despite all these exciting possibilities and new dreams taking shape, Goodall never drifted far from Terre Haute or the loyal supporters who had believed in him from day one. Instead, he kept sharing glimpses of his everyday life online moments filled with genuine joy, behind-the-scenes insights, and the unshakable connection to the community that had helped fuel his rise. Alongside the bigger milestones in his career, Goodall made it a point to stay deeply connected with his fans, those who reached out to tell him that his story had given them hope when they needed it most. For many years, he masterfully balanced two very different worlds, one behind a mop, quietly maintaining school hallways, and the other in the spotlight, commanding a microphone with confidence and passion. But that delicate balance was about to shift dramatically. In the summer of 2026, after an incredible 25 years of dedicated service, Goodall officially retired from his custodial position with the Vigo County School Corporation. He described this momentous decision as deeply emotional, far from an easy choice. Walking those hallways one last time stirred feelings he hadn't anticipated, the familiar sights and sounds resonating with a bittersweet weight. Those early mornings, silent and peaceful before the students arrived, always brought him a calming sense of purpose. Yet, as children buzzed through the halls on his final days, the reality of closing that chapter fully hit him in a profound way. He admitted, entertainment is far less stable than a steady paycheck, revealing how stepping away completely from his longtime job was less about certainty and more about courage. The co-workers who had stood by his side for years described his farewell as a tender and bittersweet moment, infused with the warmth and goodwill that had followed Goodall from the very first viral video that launched his journey. For the entire school community, students, teachers, and staff alike, saying goodbye to their janitor wasn't just a farewell, but the closing of a story they had all quietly witnessed and cherished. And just when it seemed like one chapter was ending, a surprising new announcement arrived alongside his retirement. Goodall had signed a major deal with the production companies Everard Entertainment and Mad Chance 2. Now, this incredible journey is about to leap from real life onto the big screen, with acclaimed writer Chris Parizo leading the charge to craft the screenplay. The producers championing this project point to three unforgettable milestones: his stunning talent show victory, his heartfelt wedding, and the astonishing discovery of his biological family as proof that Richard Goodall's story is almost too incredible to believe. It's that rare kind of narrative that seems scripted by fate itself. Those behind the scenes have praised his experience as the ultimate embodiment of the American dream, a powerful testament to resilience, showing that it's never too late to chase your passion, no matter the obstacles or your age. For Richard, though, the whirlwind fame has done little to change how he sees himself. He's always remained grounded, describing himself as just an ordinary guy who happened to catch a remarkable break. He even jokes that no one could have invented a story like his, not even in Hollywood. Now, with everything unfolding from viral videos filmed in school cafeterias to a stunning wedding by the ocean in California, he's fully embraced this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. His journey is far more than a lucky moment. It's the accumulation of years filled with quiet determination, heartbreaking loss, unexpected reunions, and unwavering hope. From quietly humming down the school hallways as a janitor to stepping into the spotlight as a headline artist with a feature film on the horizon, Richard Goodall has shown the world that extraordinary talent often hides where we least expect it, in the routines of everyday life. His story transcends winning a television contest. It's a deeply human tale about family, grief, love, and the courage it takes to truly believe in your dreams and bet everything on them. If Richard's remarkable journey moved you or sparked a little hope in your own heart, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more inspiring stories that celebrate real people overcoming real odds, and don't forget to share this video with someone who needs a little motivation today. And drop a comment below what part of Richard's story resonated with you the most. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching!